The next speaker up we have is from the other side of the street. I believe she also needs no introduction because she has stood out here with us before. Ms. Senator Nancy Jacobs.
It's great to see all of you here today. And you don't even have to be here for a bill hearing. You just show up to protect your Second Amendment rights. God bless you. Well, I'm cross-filing a lot of bills that Delegate Mike Schmiegel has done, as well as some others that Second Amendment folks have come to me and asked me to cross-file. And I have to say, even though I am not running again for the Senate, I'm going to go out with a bang. And I will be here with all of you, lobbying our legislators on what needs to happen. And you all know as well as I do that we can make a difference. And you have made a difference. And that's why I'm secure in knowing that we're going to find, you're going to elect my replacement who feels just as strongly as I do. And if you want to know who that is, we can talk later. Thank you all for being the stalwarts that you have been. We are not going away. Don't ever forget that. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for your support over the years.
Senator, we thank you for your support. Next up is Delegate Jeannie Haddaway-Riccio.
Well, I too want to thank you all for coming out today. I represent 4 counties on the Eastern Shore. I know we have some Eastern Shore folks here. Woohoo! But like you, I am a Marylander and an American first and foremost. And by that, I have rights, you have rights that should not be taken away from us. We shouldn't even be discussing them being taken away from us. So I just thank you for coming. I know that many of you have asked me time and time again, after last year what happened, thousands of people showed up for our rally. We had hours of testimony in opposition to the legislation, and the O'Malley-Brown administration passed that bill over our objections anyway. Now, many of you wonder why they may have done that. There are 2 reasons. Number 1, they are banking on us getting discouraged and giving up. Never going to happen. Number 2, they're banking on voters having a short-term memory. Never going to happen, right? So join us in the fight of spreading the word, who your supporters are, who they aren't. I hope that if you have felt discouraged, you're encouraged by the legislators that you've heard from today and that you will hear from after me, because believe me, we are here, we are strong, and we are your voice. We do work for you, we will represent you, and we don't want a little bit of the amendment. We don't want bits and pieces of the amendment. We want the full right. And we don't want it just some of the time, and we don't want it just at election time. We want it all the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeannie. Our next speaker is Mr. George Durst from Take Back Maryland.
Hi. It's good to see everybody out here today. Thanks for coming. I'm speaking on behalf of Take Back Maryland. We're a political action committee, and our sole purpose is to get more pro-Second Amendment people into government. I'm sure a lot of you people were out here with me last year about this time fighting SB 281 and remember what happened. I hear a lot of people say, if only we would have fought harder, yelled a little louder, talked to them a little bit more, and reasoned with them just a little bit better, maybe we could have defeated this bill. Does anybody believe that? No. Right. I don't either. So, how do we change things in Maryland? Exactly. We've got to change the face of the General Assembly. If people are against us, if people are against freedom and the Bill of Rights, they've got to get out of office. Even if we replace them with someone that's just as bad, it's a very motivating thing if we can tell you that if you don't work with us, you're going to be gone. of us have to work together on this. It's going to take a lot of work and a lot of effort. We've got to use some of our other rights. Free speech. We've got to talk to our friends and neighbors. Even if it's not about guns, we've got to show what these folks are doing to our rights. If they can do it to the Second Amendment, they can surely do it to the other ones. We've got to get more patriots into office. Right now, it appears we have a lot more oligarchs than patriots. We've really got to change that. Take Back Maryland's going to work on that. I hope that you'll all be able to donate a little bit because it costs a lot of money to get people into office. A lot of money that the other side has, especially in this state. We'll be more visible in the future. You'll see us at gun shows and other events. You'll see us on social media. I hope that we'll be able to work with other organizations to pick people that are vulnerable and get them out of office. We've got, yes, anybody that's not registered to vote needs to be registered to vote. You really have no business being an activist if you don't have the most important tool that an activist can have, and that is a vote. It's also important to understand this process probably won't be finished by November. It's going to take years. It's going to be a work in progress. It's going to be an evolution and not a revolution. But if we all persevere, I think we can do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Real quick, George brought something up. Voter registration. Real quick, our folks that are walking around to sign up voters for voter registration, would you please jump up and down or stick your hands up in the air? 1, 2, 3. If you see, turn around, you'll see the boards that say voter registration here. If you aren't registered to vote, please see one of them. They will be more than happy to sign you up. Additionally, I'd like to acknowledge the following people that have supported us and continue to support us. Would be Delegate Mike Huff, Delegate John Cluster, Gail Bates, Delegate Gail Bates, thank you for the correction, Senator. Delegate Rick Imperiella, sorry for murdering that. And last but not least, somebody that has been with us from the get-go and a longtime supporter, Delegate Tony O'Donnell. I would also like to include in that list Jay Jacobs and Steve Arentz, who is a new delegate this year. I'm also reminded that Delegate Ron George is here. So with that, our office mate in the trenches, the dungeon, the war room, however you want to refer to it last year, we kind of took over his office also in taking over Mike's. Caitlin did a wonderful job of putting up with our shenanigans last year. You did too as well, Delegate. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Delegate Mike McDermott.
Hello, you children of patriots. You know, the last time a tyrant took away the guns from American citizens, it did not go well for him. The last time a tyrant took away the guns of American citizens, it did not go well for him. It's not going well for this governor, and let me tell you something. The people of Maryland have spoken out. The liberty that cries out from this street that cried out last year is not going away. Let me assure you, equal justice under law is inscribed on these pillars that you stand under right now. Equal justice under law does not come about without liberty. Liberty is not achieved without patriots that are willing to shed blood for it, people that are willing to stand up for it, people that are willing to speak out against tyranny, people that are willing to stand up against injustice. The people that are willing to do that will always prevail. Your arguments are true. Your words are sound. The words that they need to hear in the state capitol are the words that come and resonate from the people that are born free in this country, that have lived free in this country and that are determined to see their children live free in this country. When George Washington surrendered his commission a few steps from here in the old Senate building, he laid it down to a group of civilians. He surrendered the notion that this was a nation that wanted to make him a king, and he gave it back to the people. And it is the people who keep it. We do not need a king. We do not need a government that behaves like a kingdom. We want, our children deserve the right to grow up just as our forefathers did. In the land of the free, the home of the brave, those that take care of themselves and look after their neighbor, those that protect their families in the way that they see fit, those that rely on the government only to do the specified things that government can do, to protect our liberties, not to take them away. If you want liberty, you must cry out for it, you must defend it, and you must never, ever give up. God bless you.
Thank you, Delegate, very much. Next up is a gentleman that's been down here for 11 years straight. He comes from the mountains of Maryland. He represents the Western Maryland Sportsmen's Association, Mr. Ray Givens.